How do you feel about the criticisms that has trailed the proposal of this bill so far? Do you think the Senate is being misunderstood?
Well, what the Senate will certainly do in the next few days will be to engage the public in terms of not only the bill, but the impression the bill created on the integrity and position and the credibility of the Senate itself. And that is very clear. And then whether the bill is good or bad. What I want everyone to understand very clearly is that it is natural for elected representatives to bring out bills. And if Nigerians don't want that law, it is not going to move. Recently in South Africa, the government came out with a new tuition fee for students. And when they came out in protest, the ANC government simply said, we have backed down, and that is democracy. You can't stand and see because this is what you want, it must be done. We are not people appointed, we are people elected into office, and certainly the views of our electorate matters a lot.
But that's the reason why people will have to ask again, how does the Senate come up with the bills that it eventually passes into law? I mean, what influences it? One would have thought that because the elected representatives, they will be concerned about things that would affect the welfare of the people, or perhaps they got the idea from their constituency, as it were. Where did the idea for this bill come from?
Well, what you need to understand is that a bill is a law on process, and there is no there is no saying that because a bill must become a law. It is a proposal that can be in court panel beaten or can be thrown away or can pass through. So when bills are proposed, there are a lot of bills that are proposed and pass through first reading, second reading, and even move further. And then at the end of the day, they don't move. It is not easy. Bills doesn't come in one day. But naturally, as a democracy, when such issues are presented and when suspicions are raised and then resistance, you can see it everywhere, there will be something that will be done by the Senate to reflect what Nigerians want, and that is the Senate now, with the protests that came to the National Assembly, and what we have read both on the social media and on the traditional media, the message has been sent well to all senators, and I believe this will be reflected in the way that bill is treated.
The question I asked, Senator, is where the idea for bills usually come from. Is it that a senator is, concerned about certain things that are affecting certain sectors of the economy or affecting his constituents or her constituents directly? I would think that those are the kind of things that inform the idea for, certain bills. I'm just curious as to how the ideas for bills come up.
Well, the ideas for bills don't come up from Mars, Venus, Neptune, Jupiter, or Uranus. They come from the senators. And senators can bring up ideas for bills based on perhaps what they have seen or what they have experienced or the consultations which they made. So the point is that the very person who crafted that bill will be in the best position to answer that. But I'm telling you on the general sense that bills are proposed by senators based on perhaps their experience, their consultation with their constituencies, or their own position on what they think need to be done to address some certain problems.
You have been a social media advocate or practitioner. How do you feel with the backlash you see on the social media concerning this proposed bill?
Well, I feel happy that we have a conscious, enlightened, and awakened citizenry who are very much interested and responsive to issues in the National Assembly. And I am also happy that the new generations of Nigerians are very much getting aware on, getting much enlightened on the way the National Assembly works. This was something that is unconceived in the last in 1999 or 2003. And again, as someone who uses the social media and also as a civil rights activist, I'm deeply concerned that this issue will certainly give our country a bad name, and our democracy, the credibility of our democracy will be doubted. I knew that there was a time I suffered persecution as a result of expressing my opinion under the military, and I would not like anyone to be treated the same. But what we need to understand is that reacting or responding to a bill which you disagree or you see it that contravenes principles and ideals of the Constitution is not to be done by insulting and abusing the persons you elect. It's by engaging them. If now you said the social media bill contradicts the provisions of our Constitution, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Universal Charter on Human and People's Rights, and you cite the pronunciations within the Magna Carta, then you know you are making an intellectual response. But when you start calling your own senators or representative names, it appears that you don't even know how to defeat them intellectually and how to also make points that will subdue the issue that is at stake. So response is very much important. And social media should be used to engage those you elect, not make it impossible for them to see it as a medium for communication.
And you say there'll also be time for a social hearing of this particular bill. I mean, a public hearing. I meant to say.
Yeah, you can't simply craft and mold and manufacture a bill in the National Assembly without getting the views of Nigerians. And I think when this issue is now to the public, in need of public contribution, I think that is the best platform to come and shoot it down. And then we will always advise that for those of us from the parliament who are prepared to take all the heat on the social media, and what you need to do is to set a good example that will encourage others to be there, because being on social media is voluntary. Once you have your constituency office where people can reach out to you, and then you have done what you need to do. So, but I think there is a need to have some form of decorum in the way in which issues like these are being addressed and also being run.
Very quickly before we let you go, what you've seen over the years, looking at your struggle to this moment where we have the social media as a tool, which do you think is more on the scale, the evil of social media or the good of social media?
Well, the good of social media. Social media has played a role in the eviction of the last administration. We that are in the parliament now are all beneficiaries of social media. And worldwide today, social media is a tool for checking bad governance. And we can't address a lot of ills in our society without the social media as it is now. So now what we need to do is that it should be used for good and for the betterment of our society, and it must not be negatively used. And then what we fully assure all Nigerians is that the Senate, National Assembly as a whole, has listened to all the issues that have been raised, and nothing at all will be done to undermine the fundamental rights of Nigerians to express their opinion. Freedom of speech is the heartbeat of democracy, and in no way will it be muzzled by the Nigerian National Assembly.
Senator Shehu Sani, many thanks for speaking with us and always finding time to be here.
Thank you.
That's it on the program, and with Senator Shehu Sani, I was hoping that our producers, so we should be able to get your comments on this. Well, perhaps we should just keep that and save it for last, and that should be Friday. We'll look at so many comments generated from so many topics and comments from people, especially in those states where elections have held. Many thanks for being such nice company on the program today. I'm Sulaiman Alede.
Such a shame we couldn't take comments from social media when we're talking about social media. But hey, it's not
I burnt the time.
fault of time, yeah. Well, that'll be it. Thank you. I'm Maokwe Ogun.
I'm Neltag. We have a good day.